Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Charlie Walker, and I wanted to go through a quick ManyChat tutorial to show you how you can start from scratch and build a chatbot for your business to really automate some of the growth and nurturing for your clients. So let's jump right in. This tutorial is really going to be hands-on. So it's not going to take a long time for you to start from zero and have a fully working chatbot. That's one misconception. People think, it's going to be very technical and all of that. It's really not, and you're going to have your first live chatbot in just a few minutes, so bear with me. So you're going to go to manychat.com. So that's the one that I use and I recommend. There's a lot of other platforms out there, but ManyChat is the easiest to use, and it's just as robust in functionality as many of the other ones. So the way that you're going to log in is you're going to come here and you're going to click Get Started for free, and it's going to prompt you to sign in with Facebook, and you're going to pick from any of the Facebook accounts that you're an admin of. Okay, this is a client, so let me jump out to kind of my training page. So the way that it's going to work, we missed a step there because I'm already logged into Facebook and I already have a ManyChat account. But you would log in through your Facebook account that you're already logged in through. Okay, and then you would pick a Facebook page if you assuming you're an admin of a Facebook page, which you would need to be. Then you would link the two to get started. Okay, so this is a training page that I set up just so I can play around and not have to mess anything up on my website. But basically, this is the back end of ManyChat. So really quickly, this dashboard here is going to show you how many subscribers you have. You can change, the date range, all of that. Basically, what you would expect from a dashboard. Your audience is going to show you all the people that have signed in through your bot and some information about them. Maybe if they have some tags or custom fields, which will be a later topic. Okay. The biggest areas you need to focus on is, or need to understand what they are, is growth tools, flows, and automation. Okay, so really quickly, just high level, growth tools is how do you get somebody that is not inside of your bot into your bot? So you do this through a growth tool. Okay, so I'll just show you really quickly all the different ways that you can get somebody into your bot, and the easiest way is just a link. Just like, let's say you're sending out an email blast saying, hey, if you want to get, this special training, click this link and we'll go ahead and send you my Messenger bot and I'll send it to you in Messenger. So you would go through and create a link and they would get into your bot. And that's actually how we're going to go through in this video to actually create it, because it's the easiest way to get started. Okay, there's some other ways you can do it. Like you can put a bar on the top of your website like that. And they would click it to take a look at whatever you have. Maybe you have a free ebook, or you can do like a pop-up, page takeover, different things like that. You can also do a button. Like if you go to my website, chatbots.convert.com, the homepage, I'm utilizing a button to get people in. So you see this little button here. It's a free crash course like you can get below in the comments. I'll put a link there so you can see it, or you can go to chatbots.convert.com. You click this button and it'll start a conversation with you in Messenger and register you for this free course. So this is how you could utilize a button. Okay. You can also do a landing page where you could send them to a particular page and they would opt in that way. And some other really fancy ways to get people in. But one of the most popular ones is the Facebook ads JSON is what it's called. Basically, you can run a Facebook ad and they'll click the button, and instead of going to a website, they're going to go directly into Messenger. So that's some pretty cool stuff. So real quickly, we jumped right into it. I want to let you guys know a little bit who I am. If you haven't already met me, my name is Charlie Walker. I own an agency and an academy, Chatbots That Convert, focused on teaching people how to use Facebook Messenger to grow your business. If you're interested in learning about ManyChat or messenger marketing, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. And I also got a link below, just like I mentioned, where you can grab this free course that I'm talking about. And I'm adding some templates to it actually as well, so that you can just download a template, install it, customize it, and get off to the races with building your business through messenger marketing. Okay, so that's the growth tools. Obviously, we didn't go in depth, but we will go through a live example using the ref URL. But to show you some other stuff, one of the common questions people have is like, what is the bot? Like, how does it actually work? And not a lot of people do a good job of explaining this, but the way you should think about it is the growth tools is how you get somebody into your chatbot. Now, the actual conversations that happen in the chatbot are all going to be handled through this flows. So you're just going to start a conversation by creating, let's go through walkthrough. And it's very easy to set this up. There's no coding or anything like that really required until it gets to some pretty advanced stuff. But you would just say, hey there, welcome to my chatbot. And I'm not trying to make this super... I would never use this, I guess you would say. You would spend a little more time with the wording, but I don't want you to sit there watching me type. No, that gets annoying. Welcome to my chatbot. This ManyChat always does that. This is an AI-based assistant for XYZ. As promised, click the link below to get your free ebook on XYZ. Okay, so that would be the first message that somebody would receive when they click your link. Well, not yet. But we're setting up the conversation, and then we're going to connect the conversation to the growth tool. So that's how that happens, right? Just as a reminder, you're probably by default in this. It's going to look like this for you probably. If you click flows and then create a new flow, you want to make sure you always go to Flow Builder, which is really one of the big perks of ManyChat. It's very visual and it's very just aesthetically pleasing to be able to understand how all the conversations are working. Okay. So what's going to happen next is we're going to click add a button. And so we're going to say, get my ebook, and you'll quickly find that you only have a certain amount of characters here. So we typically keep it short. Throw in an emoji, maybe something. We click here. Maybe we'll click the little fire or the, there we go. Get my ebook. Maybe it's a marketing book, right? So that's going to be really interesting for them to click on. So this little button means open next step. So you can click on it from here or from here. And so we're just going to click this and, we're going to click here and drag. And it's going to say, what's the next step? So we're going to send them another message if they click that button that says, great. And I'll show you now how you can use these little brackets. So Facebook knows some information about them. So we're going to use first name. So, great, Charlie. Thanks for your interest. This ebook can be found. Well, maybe we'll kind of switch it up. I'm going to cut this. Let's use Control Z. So now we're going to use a card actually. So I'm going to cancel that. Let's use a card so I can show you a little bit more functionality. So maybe you have an image for your. Let's see if I can find something real quick. Maybe you have an image that you want to use. Images. Yeah. Yeah, maybe you have to have a certain dimension, but we'll just go with this for now. So download the ebook. Okay. Click the button below to download. Okay. And then so what we're going to do so they can actually get the ebook is we're going to say download now, and then we're going to open a website, and you would just paste in a Google Drive or wherever it's located, Google Docs, wherever it's Dropbox, wherever it's located. You would just type that in there and then click done. For now, I'm going to say google.com just so that it'll actually register. I may need www. Okay, so now I've got it set up so that if I were to provide somebody with a link and they were to click the button, they would get this little screen here, this fancy image, and they could click the button and download your ebook right there. So that would be a very, very simple chatbot. But what would happen is now you have them as a subscriber, and you can add them to sequences or you can send them broadcasts. So this is clearly the least complex chatbot that was ever in existence. But let's add a little bit of complexity here. Let's say that when they click this, an additional action happens. So let's do perform actions, and we're going to come over here. And now I'm going to show you how you can subscribe them to a sequence. So a sequence is very similar to if you have any experience with email marketing, a drip campaign where you drip them content over 5, 10, 12, 15 days to kind of nurture them, show them value, explain, show them that you are an expert in the topic, and occasionally provide them with offers, right? So we're going to leave this here, But we're going to go to automations. Okay. Now within automations, there's some different stuff that's happening. We're not going to get into all of that right now, but just really quickly, the main menu is just a menu that they can see at any point in time. If you wanted to have kind of a quick guide to get them to certain places, maybe you're a restaurant and you want to, I think that's what I was setting this up. You can see their menu, you can book reservations, or you can unsubscribe is what I've got there. Default reply is something that would fire anytime they type a message that is, you're not asking them to type, and they're just saying, maybe they're asking about, just something you don't know about, or something you haven't set up. It's going to say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, but maybe pick one of these options. Maybe it could point you in the right direction. Basically is what's happening there. The welcome message is if they go to your Facebook page and they click the button on your Facebook page that says send message, this is what would fire when that happens. Okay. So keywords are if they type a word, like let's say you're a restaurant and say, they're typing your button, they say, do you have any reservations? Well, now is where you could set up a keyword so that when somebody says the keyword reservations, it'll fire a certain message to them saying, well, go here to find out about our reservations and set one up. Or maybe you could, an advanced one you can book within the actual, let's see what we got here. I think I did an example. So this would be just setting up, I guess I did a restaurant bot before, just some information about how to book it. So we'll skip that. Sequences is what I came here to show you. Okay, I guess I did some puppy training on this one before. But this would be very similar to anything, like I said, with email marketing, right? So we're going to click a new sequence. We're going to say ebook sequence. All right, so we're going to click this button to create a new message. And so what we've got here is somebody has gotten your ebook, and now you want to drip them some content. So maybe you want to start it 24 hours after they downloaded your ebook. So you could create a new reply, or if you already had a conversation existing, you could select it there. We'll go ahead and create a new one. So let's say that you said, hey Charlie. Maybe I did it really quickly. So I clicked this, and then I did it again, and it'll pop that variable type up. So I would say, hey Charlie, or whoever's receiving it, right? Hope you enjoyed the ebook. I actually have a video training on XYZ. Watch it for free, and then we'll throw in some emojis, all those little, kind of directing them. The more specific with what you want them to do, which is, click this button, the more likely they are to kind of continue through your flow. Okay, so watch XYZ video, and then maybe we'll just open up YouTube. We'll send them to a YouTube video that you've created that has some value. Maybe it's an unlisted video, so they feel more like they're getting some exclusive training, and that will be it. Maybe you could follow up with them 15 minutes later and say, did you like it? So let's say if they click this, sorry. Let's see. Well, instead of that, we're not going to make it on if they clicked or not, but let's just send them another message. Let's say 15 minutes later. Okay. So the way that you would do that is you would have this delay here. So you could do it a couple different ways. This delay here is really intended to look like somebody's typing. So, you could maybe wait 10 seconds and say, did you like the video? Although that might not be the best approach, right? Say, did you like it? They're probably watching it right now, right? So instead you can do something called a smart delay. I'm going to delete that, and I'm going to say continue to another step. And the next step that I want to happen is smart delay. So let's say your video is 10 minutes long. Maybe you want to wait 15 minutes and ask them if they liked it. So we're going to send another message. And, I'm not going to get into an actual sequence here, but you could say potentially, did you like the video, and would you like to learn more about that topic? Okay, so now is when we're going to get into multiple flows. So in the past, it's been here's a button, click it, and then you'll get the next step. Now I want to show you what happens when you give the person options. So, the way that you can give them options for different things they can click is either you can do buttons or you can do quick replies. So a button, maybe they say yes, maybe they say no. Then we could create a message that they would get if they said yes. I'll just put something there as a placeholder. Or if they click no, you'd say, sorry, you didn't like it. Feel free to unsubscribe. Yeah, something like that. And by default, ManyChat has the automation set in so that if somebody they typed stop, they would say, are you sure you want to unsubscribe? And then they could click one more time to make sure they can unsubscribe. And that's just kind of general best practice. You don't want to keep them somewhere they don't want to be. And if they're getting messages from a page that they're not really interested in, it's going to get old really quick. Okay? So let's say that they said yes. So we could say, great, we enjoyed making it. We actually have an in-depth training on this XYZ topic in the form of a webinar. Would you be interested in checking it out? And then the button here could be, your webinar jam link. And you could register them for a webinar there. Just one example. Well, I guess I need to register for webinar. I don't know if I'm going to have enough. Oh, just enough characters. Perfect. Okay, so register for the webinar. And now you've taken somebody that is a lead that's downloaded your free ebook. You've shown them some value. And now you're sending them to a webinar where potentially you have an offer for them, a product that would potentially benefit them, somebody that was interested in the ebook, and now they've gotten some advanced training. They know you're an expert. And now they're ready to watch your webinar and buy your product. Okay, so we went through buttons there. I'm going to disconnect these little things. So what if instead we wanted to show them quick replies? So a quick reply is very similar to a button. The difference is once this person clicks the yes, meaning yes, I would like to get more information about it, they're going to get this message. But if they were to scroll back up, this yes and no would still be there. So they could say, well, I wonder what would happen if I click no, what kind of message I would get then. So a lot of times you want to prevent that from happening. So it's a lot of times better to use a quick reply than a button. Okay, and a quick reply is going to look very similar to a button, just slightly different. So we could do yes, we could do no, and I'll remove these buttons here. All right, and then now I'll just link these up to these messages here. Nope, that's not it. I think it kind of glitched up a little bit on there. Yeah, it did glitch up. But, that's fine. It moved. It moved now. Okay, so now there's a simple sequence that we've got set up. So that'll be maybe day one. So you could set it up. Let's go ahead and publish that. So we'll go back. And let me make sure that we've published it. Yep, so it's published. Now, if you really want to turn this on as active, you go ahead and click that button to make it active. But we don't have anybody in our sequence yet, right? So this would be video to webinar. And maybe that's day one. And maybe you don't want to send them to a webinar on day one. Maybe you want to send it to them on day 3. The way that you would do that is just each message you want to add into your drip campaign, you would just schedule it to be however many days after, I guess I didn't save. So after 24 hours after they go through your flow, they're going to get this message. Maybe 3 days later, they're going to get another one, that kind of thing. Now, the way that so you would just create a new one there. The way that you're going to actually put them into your sequence here, they're not going to be automatically entered into your sequence. So there's a couple ways you can do it. The first way we're going to go through it is this video to, well, no, that's the flow for what we just went through. This walkthrough flow where we started off. So we've got this action here, and nothing's been clicked. But let's say that they download our ebook. At that point, we want to subscribe them to our sequence. So we would click Actions, and we'll click Action, subscribe to sequence. And now since we've already set up that sequence, it'll exist in this list. And I believe it was called ebook sequence. Okay? So if we publish this, anybody that gets this message and then they go through this and they click on this button here is going to be subscribed to that sequence, and it'll set up that drip campaign for them. Okay? So now, we've gotten somebody to a sequence, but we haven't connected this flow to any kind of growth tool. So there's no way that anybody in the world could come into our world and actually see this flow. So we're going to build a growth tool that will enable them to connect to it. Okay? So it's going to be, we're going to go to Growth Tools, Widgets, New Growth Tool, and we're going to select this Messenger Ref URL. Okay? All right, so by default, it's going to have some generic stuff in there. But we need to select the flow that we just created. So we're going to click Replace, and it's just right here, this walkthrough. Okay? So select this flow. And by the way, you can change this hey there to the first name like we did before. I didn't show you that because I didn't want to show you too much complexity, assuming you're a beginner, right? So you could also subscribe into the sequence here, but I think it might be kind of best practice to wait until we let them download our ebook before we subscribe them to a sequence. But you have the option to do it here if you would like. All right, so we're going to click to the next tab to set up. So we're going to make sure we save this so that we can populate. And just like that, we've got a link that we can give somebody and we can get them into our chatbot. So we can copy this to the clipboard, and you can send it to somebody in an email or maybe on your Facebook page. Click, just post that on there. Anybody that clicks the link is going to get prompted to enter your bot. Okay, one point of best practice. What I generally like to do is turn this link into a bit.ly link. So I'll go to bit.ly and create a short link. Or alternatively, you can set a custom ref parameter, meaning instead of all of this stuff here, you could just say, maybe free ebook. Let's see how that looks. Well, so that looks a little bit better. Yeah, it's still going to have all of that text there. It should be, I believe there's a way to change it so that this, instead of all this text, it's, chatbots that convert or whatever your page name is. Okay? But let's go ahead and click this link and see what happens. So they would have clicked the link. My phone in my pocket is, as we're speaking, it's blowing up because any link like that they're going to get in their actual phone. So I've gotten some stuff on here before. So let me emulate the actual experience that your user would receive. So I'm going to delete this conversation so we can start from scratch to kind of emulate what your user would experience. So we're going to click this button. Okay, and for ref URLs, meaning links, they have to click one more button to kind of start. And it looks a lot better when they're on mobile, which they usually will be, because the button will be a lot bigger and the call to action of get started will clearly be more prominent. But I would recommend, if you're using a ref URL, if you're sending an email or posting on your page or your YouTube video, say click this link and then click get started to get whatever it is. So we'll click get started. So this is the first this is the first message we got, right? So we're gonna click get my ebook. So it should be the image, and then click down, download the ebook. Click download to click the button below to download. Sorry. So download now, and it's going to send them. I think I just sent them to Google, but that's where they would go, and they could download the drive, right? So so that's the flow. So so this, I think it was waiting. What was it waiting? 15 minutes before it sent the next. Oh no, that was the drip campaign, right? So in 24 hours, I would get a message saying, "Hey Charlie, if you enjoyed the ebook, you might be interested in this video." And then if they were interested in the video, they might be interested in the webinar. So that's kind of how that would work. Now, one other thing I want to show you guys really quickly. There's obviously a ton to learn with ManyChat, but I want to do this intentionally to show you kind of the possibilities. So let's say you don't just want to get them into your ManyChat subscriber list, right? Maybe you want to actually get them on your email list as well. What you can do is you can ask them to put in their email address. So click the button below to get your free ebook as promised. And so maybe we don't use this message. Maybe we say something else. So maybe we ask them for their email and we'll send it to them through their email. Okay. So we'll go to send message and we would come here, and obviously there's plenty of stuff to learn about here, but we're going to use a pro feature called user input. Okay. I'm going to delete this. And for the user input type, we want to be able to select email. And the reason what happens here is if they don't enter something that's valid, meaning an email that looks like an email address, it'll make them say, please enter a correct email address. Or they can skip it if they just keep entering in crazy stuff. Right? So we would say, great, just confirm or enter your email address below. We will send it to your inbox. Okay, so now it's going to wait for a reply from the user, and in most cases, it's going to show them the email address that they registered with through Facebook. So they don't even have to type anything in most cases. They can just click a button and will grab their email address. So what you would do is they've entered their email address and you need to save it to a custom field is what it's called, which will be linked to their account. So if you were to go to audiences and custom field, you could find, what's their email address? Oh yeah, it's this, right? So if you don't have any custom fields set up, you'll need to create one. I've got a bunch on here, so I'm going to say walk through email. And it's going to be a new custom field, and it's going to be text because it's an email. You can't select specifically email, and that's fine. We'll do text. So now they have entered their email address and we've saved it to a custom field. Now there's a couple different ways you can actually send them the actual email. One is to use Zapier, and Zapier is something that is able to connect two different softwares that don't have integrations, but they have integrations with Zapier. So I'm not going to go through that in this one because it's kind of a beginner's training, but you could set it, trigger Zap, and then Zapier would say, oh, that was triggered. I need to grab their email address and send them this email. Right? Another way is ManyChat currently already has an integration with MailChimp. So if you already have a MailChimp account, you don't need Zapier. You do need a pro account, but you could add them to a list and you would select your list. I'm not really using MailChimp, so we could just say this. And maybe by default, MailChimp will send them the email once they get that, somebody gets added to that list. All right? So that'll be an example of how you could set that up. Okay? So that's basically it, guys. Like I said, this is a really quick tutorial. I kind of wanted to show you some, starting from scratch to a little bit of a taste of some of the advanced stuff. I've got a course below that'll dive a little bit deeper into some of these topics and get you, show you the growth tools, show you some of the automation, some of the advanced functionality, because it gets really deep. This rabbit hole of chat bots and messenger bots, it goes deep, and it's a lot of fun learning how to do all of it. And obviously, nothing that I did there was super technical. It's just the most difficult part is knowing, it sounds simple, but knowing what to do. And so there's a lot of trial and error. I've spent hundreds of hours probably trying different stuff and trying to figure out like how to actually get this to work. And sometimes it's not exactly intuitive. But guys, so yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I've got a free course for you below where you can get a template that you can just upload to your Facebook page and just customize it and hit the ground running. All right, guys, thank you so much for the video. I'll see you in the next one.